Mo, you have the floor.
All right, great. Hi, everybody. It's morning here, but good afternoon. Appreciate you spending your afternoon or evening with us. I'm going to share my screen. Give me one sec. Perfect. And can everyone see my screen?
Yes, Mo, it's okay.
All right, great. So I'll jump right in. So welcome everybody. So today we've got a pretty short agenda. We're going to focus a lot on the demo and the actual walkthroughs, but we're going to start with just a little bit of a, excuse me, I'm sorry. We're going to start with a little bit of a high-level overview of UiPath and Amazon, various Amazon products in the contact center space. We're going to do a bit of a deep dive on Amazon Connect, the native integration within UiPath and Amazon Comprehend, so a lot of the Amazon AI tools plus contact center intelligence. And we're going to do a live walkthrough of, configuring both Connect and Comprehend. We're going to show an IVR demo and walkthrough, and also touch on chatbots via Lex and Comprehend as well. Time willing, we'll have some time for a little bit of, a couple of use cases at the end, but we'll definitely spend at least 10 to 15 minutes on Q&A and just talking through anything else that people might have questions on. Sorry, excuse me again. So I'll start with just a little bit of our intro. So we've got a lot of great integrations with Amazon. We've got auto scaling via AWS. We've got really strong IT automation activities, but most of what we're going to discuss today is really focused in the AI realm, and especially AI within the contact center and various other contact center tools. So we're going to focus a bit on Connect and Comprehend, but Mina here is also going to touch on a lot of, or expand on a lot of the additional capabilities across the contact center stack, and sort of, we'll talk about how UiPath fits in. So, at a very high level, AWS's and UiPath's contact center solutions focus on a couple of general areas, including self-service and agent assistance. So the idea is, there's omni-channel tools like chatbots, IVR, conversational IVR, self-service portals, things like that. And then, for anything that cannot be resolved via self-service, they get escalated to agents. And we see a lot of opportunities to incorporate rule-based automation, artificial intelligence, and really combine the AWS stack with the UiPath to empower both self-service and agent assistance. So a lot of what we see across the contact center space, if we go through an end-to-end process, if we start from left to right, there's multiple different inbound channels. So that could be voice via IVR, that could be voicemail even, that could be email, mobile, SMS, web via portals and self-service websites and things like that. And then of course, chat. And where we see robots playing a key role is we can integrate with a lot of the channels, including Amazon Connect and others, to monitor all those inbound channels and then do a lot of those initial front office processing. So that could be verification, that could be initial triage, routing, categorization or classification, extracting data, prioritizing based on things like sentiment and others, and even detecting fraud. And so there's rule-based processing, but there's also a lot of great AI models, including what we'll get from AWS that can help with sentiment analysis or text classification, named entity recognition, and things like that. And so once all of those initial processing is, once all that initial processing is done, there's a lot of opportunities for self-service fulfillment. So that could be fulfilling requests, that could be providing status updates, helping to troubleshoot, initiating a service request, fielding a complaint or dispute, or processing a payment, just as a few examples. And there's really strong examples of or use cases with both AI and ML and automation to help perform these. And I think with what a chatbot or conversational IVR can do with the power of UiPath robots behind them is fulfill a lot of these without needing human involvement. And so for all of those, they can go straight through to the end where we can do a lot of those closeout processes. So that could be multi-system updates, that could be generating reports, that could be documenting incident and client details, that could even be artificial intelligence powered trend analysis. So that's where a lot of our common inbound calls or chats around credential resets, password resets, simple status updates could be automatically fulfilled. And then for anything that does need escalation, that could be what we call a quote unquote warm transfer. So that's where all of the information captured via the self-service method could be routed directly to an agent. And then for the agent, we can have agent assistance tools. So that could be integrating CRMs, ERPs, integrating directly with the ITSM, using APIs, using UI automation via UiPath, and pulling in a lot of information like customer details, recent activities, customer history, things like that. And then also pushing information out. So we'd like to have our agents focusing on kind of a single pane of glass. So that could be ServiceNow, that could be an ITSM, that could be an ERP or CRM. And then UiPath robots can help with the integration in the background. So that could be taking information in and out, that could be updating details on the fly, that could be fulfilling a request in the background on behalf of the agent while they're talking to the customer. And then all of those can go straight through to those back office processes and end the same way that the self-service ones did. So we see really good opportunities to combine all of these different tools, across the user interface, across APIs and integration, but especially across AI and ML, and really combine all of these to empower both self-service and agent assistance. So those are really the two main areas we're going to focus on today. And within AI, there's a lot of great AI models out there. AWS has some really strong ones around visual understanding. So if you take tools like our capabilities like object recognition and you combine them with UI automation, there's a lot we can do around recognizing data or entities within images, within user interfaces, things like that, and then within documents for semi-structured, unstructured, other challenging documents with tables, things like that. There's great models we can drag and drop in. And then especially what we're going to focus on a lot today around conversational understanding. So that could be sentiment analysis, that could be live chat, live IVR, and being able to execute on those intents and mapping them to processes. And we're going to show a bit of that today. And then UiPath does have really strong skills around API integration, UI automation, and all of that. So when you combine all of that together, we see a lot of really powerful tools to apply to your contact center. So with that, I'll hand it off to Mina for a little bit more detail on the Amazon side of things.
Thank you, Mo. Hello, everyone. Really good to meet you this morning. My name is Meena. I work for Amazon Web Services as a partner solutions architect. We work very closely with UiPath, building integrations across UiPath and AWS to deliver solutions. What we are going to talk today is about Amazon Connect and how do we extend the capabilities of Amazon Connect into infusing artificial intelligence using AWS AI services as well. So I will not bore you with PowerPoints, a couple of presentations and a couple of PowerPoint slides, and then we will move into AWS console, and I will show you how to do some of the Connect capabilities and artificial intelligence capabilities of AWS. So before we jump into the real hands-on stuff, let's talk a little bit about what is Amazon Connect. Amazon Connect is an easy-to-use omni-channel cloud contact center. So a bit of a history of how it started. Amazon retail business was looking for a contact center that can give our customers a personalized and a dynamic natural experience. We couldn't find anything in the market, so we went and built one for ourselves. So we launched Amazon Connect in 2017, and Amazon Connect is now getting used by quite a number of our customers, ranging from tens of agents to tens of thousands of agents today. One of the key features of Amazon Connect is it is built from ground up. It's completely cloud-based. There's absolutely no requirement for you to build any adapters, applets, browser extensions, or anything to use Amazon Connect. They think of it as a contact center as a service. So to set up Amazon Connect, it only takes you a few clicks, right? You can claim a phone number and you can have your agents start serving the customers in a matter of minutes. The key differentiation here is the simplicity of the setup and the configuration of Amazon Connect, which I will show you in the browser in the console in a minute. There is absolutely no requirement for you to stand up any infrastructure. We scale up and scale down the infrastructure based on requirements and needs. The biggest thing is, you only pay for what you use with Amazon Connect. To stand up this Amazon Connect instance for yourself, there is absolutely no requirement for you to have complicated technical skills. A normal business user can basically go ahead and stand it up. Once you've provisioned Amazon Connect, then you can stand up personalized contact flows. I'll show you a couple of contact flows as to how to configure them and how easy is it to define a personalized, customized flow based on your business requirements. And there are multiple ways to do it. There are contact flows, there are routing logics, you can stand up queues, whatever you require to do so for any normal contact center is all available within Amazon Connect. It also provides you with rich metrics. So while users and agents are working on Amazon Connect behind the scenes is collecting quite a bit of data, and this data can be used for any real-time metrics as well. More, next slide. So Amazon Connect is not alone, right? So as you know, AWS has close to 200 plus services in its portfolio. We have ensured that Amazon Connect can connect to quite a number of services to extend the capabilities of Amazon Connect. I'll give you a few examples. Amazon Connect integrates with Identity and Access Management Directory Service for authentication and authorization. It does connect with AWS S3. S3 is the storage capacity. And any chat transcripts, call recordings, everything gets stored in S3. So Amazon Connect does also connect with Lambda. Lambda, as you know, is a serverless compute, and Lambda enables the connectivity of Amazon Connect to n number of AI services that are around there within AWS. And we will touch upon a couple of AI services today in the session. In addition, Amazon Connect's metrics are all collected in CloudWatch. Again, CloudWatch is another AWS service for logging and monitoring capabilities. And everything that you do within Amazon Connect is collected within CloudWatch as well. So this kind of helps you extend the capabilities of Amazon Connect into a bunch of other services within AWS. In addition, Amazon Connect can also connect to our partners like UiPath, which further extends your capability into driving very complicated workflows that can be driven by automating some of your processes within UiPath. For now, that's enough for the presentation. I'm just going to jump into sharing my screen and showing how to set up Amazon Connect. Hopefully you can see my screen now.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So I am just going to log into my AWS console. Okay, so this is my management console. I'm going to search for Connect. Clicking on Amazon Connect. I already have one Amazon Connect instance set up. So, but I will also show you how to set up a new instance. When you click on new instance, it's going to ask you to set up identity. So if you look at on your left-hand side, there are only 5 steps for you to stand up a contact center on the cloud using Amazon Connect, right? So we'll go one step at a time. I'm not going to create this, but we'll go through each of the steps. Setting identity. When you want to set identity, you have multiple options. Option number 1 is storing the users in Amazon Connect, or linking it to an existing directory, or using a SAML-based authentication. For the purposes of simplicity, we will go with storing users in Amazon Connect. And you can pick a URL, which is your contact center URL here. So I'll say UiPath AWS demo. Yeah, so who's going to be the administrator for this Connect instance? You can specify an administrator by giving the administrator credentials and everything here. Again, for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to say no administrator. Next. Do you want to allow incoming and outgoing calls? Pretty straightforward. Pick and choose what is required from your business requirement perspective. This is key here. So what is data storage? So you want to make sure that every call recording and the chat transcripts that are coming in can be stored within AWS when you're doing through Amazon Connect. So you can either go with the default configurations that are provided by Amazon Connect, or you could customize your data storage here. Again, all the data that gets stored in S3 buckets. Essentially, Amazon Connect creates its own S3 bucket to store it, or you could select an existing bucket. All the data that gets stored is by default encrypted. So you could choose your own encryption key. This is again Amazon Connect getting integrated to KMS, Key Management Service. You could pick and choose your own encryption key, or go with what Amazon provides you as an encryption key. So again, for each one of those things, chat transcripts, call recordings, and exported reports, you could also create a separate S3 bucket and store them in there. I'm just going to go with non-customizing this. So next. Finally, it's going to say, are you happy with what you've selected from an identity management perspective, administration rights, the types of calls that you want to go, make or receive, and the data storage. When I say create instance, now this is going to go ahead and create my Amazon instance. That is all you need to do to stand up a contact center. So what I'm going to go is, I have already created one, which I've called it as UiPath Connect. It provides you with the URL, which is the URL that I have provided. Now I'm going to log into Amazon Connect. Okay. As soon as I log in, it gives me a dashboard. So here I can explore channels of communication. I can pick a phone number, claim a phone number, so that anytime any of the users wants to contact my contact center, they can use this phone number to call me. Yeah, just phone number to call me. Similarly, I can set the hours of operations, queues, prompts, contact flows, a bunch of capabilities that you can basically work on. As I go down, it also gives me, some of the dashboard capabilities around reporting and whatnot. So what I've done with my Amazon Connect here. So what I want to focus here in the interest of time is contact flows. So what is a contact flow? Contact flow is for you to set up your personalized workflow as and when a call comes into the contact center. There are a bunch of standardized flows that has been provided by AWS, but you can go ahead and create your own customized contact flow using create contact flow. So I'll show you one of the contact flows. So for example, the sample Lambda integration. At the outset, this might basically look a little complicated, but if you start looking into each of these components within the contact flow, it is pretty straightforward. Let me go through a little bit of this workflow, and then I'll show you how to configure this workflow into a call that comes into the contact center. So obviously there is an entry point, which is start. As soon as the call comes in, I want the call to play a prompt saying that, hey there, thanks for contacting AWS UiPath Contact Center. We are happy to assist you with your query, and some general stuff, right? So once I played the prompt, I'm going to invoke a Lambda function, which is a serverless compute behind the scenes, to identify some of the information about the user. So here, there is something called as a check contact attributes. Let me click on this. So what I want to also understand is where the call is getting originated from. So who is the caller and where is he calling from? So then I basically play a prompt saying that based on the number you're calling from, your area code is located from, wherever, whichever state that this person is calling from. So this is kind of, building a bit of information about the user without the user even providing you any information at the outset. So then once I've identified where the user is calling from, I'm also calling a Lambda function, which is to understand what is the sentiment of the user who is calling. I'll show you a little bit of how this works in a minute, but essentially I can pick a Lambda function here. So I've created one Lambda function says for connect, and this is the ARN for the Lambda function. ARN is a resource name for the Lambda function. So I'm not going to go into those details, but I'm saying we've created a Lambda function. This Lambda function basically calls an AI service to understand the sentiment of the user who is calling in. Based on the sentiment of the user, I can play some prompts basically saying that, hey, you seem to be in good spirits, or based on if the sentiment is negative, then sorry to hear you're not having a bad day, or your day is not going too well. How can I help and whatnot? So as you can see, the way that I've been standing up this end-to-end flow is pretty straightforward. It took me less than 10 minutes to put together this entire flow. So this is just scratching the surface of the capabilities of Amazon Connect. If you want to create your own flow, then you could basically go ahead. Just going to save it. And create a contact flow. I just have to go create a contact flow. And on your left-hand side, there are a bunch of drag and drop capabilities. Say for example, playing a prompt. I just have to pull it down and connect it. That's it. And I can basically go ahead and change whatever is required in here. And all of these things are again drag and drop. There is absolutely nothing technical or specialized skill that you really require to do any of these things. In terms of integration, it has Lambda integration. So I could put a Lambda function call and say, hey, call the Lambda function. And depending upon the success and error criteria of the Lambda function, I can pull I can branch my workflow into different stuff. So this is one easy way to create an end-to-end flow for every call that comes in. So how do I configure this end-to-end contact flow into a call? So I go to phone numbers. I have already claimed a phone number, which is 1833, whatever this number is. So when I click on this phone number, all I'm saying is whenever I get a call, just call this particular contact flow. So whenever I get, in your leisure time, I wish I could call this number, but if in your leisure time, if you call this number, then you will have some customized messages that is coming to your number based on the contact flow that I just configured. So this is the contact flow that I've configured. And as you call this number will trigger you to the contact flow and it'll run the entire contact flow for you. Again, at a very high level, I've touched upon some of the capabilities of Amazon Connect and how easy is it to set up Amazon Connect. Mo, can we go to the presentation again, please?
Sure, I did want to say it's definitely pretty easy because my demo workspace got deleted a couple of days ago and I recreated the whole thing in about 20 minutes end to end. So definitely wanted to reinforce that. Let me share the screen again. And I'm actually going to try to do a live call during the demo. So wish me luck, but I will try to call mine live during the demo in a couple of minutes. Mina, if you stop sharing, I'll pull up the presentation again. I think we have the quiz coming up after that slide. Give me one sec. And here's this is the slide you were looking for, right?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay, so we looked at a very, very high level some of the ways that you can basically configure your Amazon Connect. Again, Amazon Connect gives you quite a bit of capabilities in terms of managing your contact center efforts. But what if we can extend the contact center efforts and integrate artificial intelligence and machine learning models into contact center, making it much more intelligent rather than asking every question to the user, right? So this is where AWS AI services comes into the picture. Before we get into some of the AI services and a couple of demos on the AI services, what I want to talk about is how AWS looks at its whole machine learning stack. Again, this is at a very, very high level. I'm going to touch upon this, right? AWS looks at it from 3 different layers, right? So the topmost layer is what we call as AI services. Think of AI services as pre-built machine learning models. You really do not have to have any kind of machine learning capabilities or data science capabilities to build these models, because these are pre-built. All you need is to know how to call an API, and you can call any of these AI services. Some of these AI services, as you can see, are listed here, are focused on vision, text, speech, and some around specific industry capabilities like healthcare and industrial and whatnot. Let me take one of the examples. Let's say Comprehend. Comprehend is an AI service which is focused on deciphering information from unstructured text data. So if there is a text provided to you in a paragraph or whatever, Comprehend has the capability to understand the key entities of the paragraph. How do we understand what is the sentiment of the text that is provided? Are there any potentially PII information that is available and whatnot? So this is just one of the AI services. For example, Translate. Again, as the name suggests, Translate looks at translating it from one language to another. Extract is another service, again focused on text-based machine learning capabilities, where you give it a PDF or an invoice kind of a document, and it extracts all the information, digitized documents to extracted information. Think of it as OCR on steroids, right? It does much more, and deciphering forms, deciphering queries. There's a whole lot of stuff that Extract can basically do for you. So this is our topmost stack, which is the AI services. Below the stack is Amazon SageMaker. SageMaker is an end-to-end machine learning platform, right? So when you're starting to build machine learning models, you're starting to work with data, preparing the data, preparing your feature engineering capabilities, taking those features and training the model. Once you've built and trained the model, you want to deploy the model, and post deployment, you want to monitor it, retrain it, and whatnot. So SageMaker Studio is one integrated experience for the customers to build end-to-end machine learning capabilities. The last but not the least is the ML frameworks and infrastructure. This is for expert practitioners who wants to bring their own models in here, right? So if you want to work on a specific package like PyTorch, TensorFlow, or whatnot, we provide you with deep learning instances that are pre-built with all these packages and frameworks that you can start building your own model on top of it. So why I want to give you this is because by integrating Connect with AI services, now you are basically taking the calls and the chat transcripts and starting to gain some insightful meaning from it, right? So we'll think of an example of where Comprehend can be put as a key component in your contact flow workflow, where every time when a call comes from the user, using Comprehend, you can identify what are the key phrases that the customer is telling you. Where do I need to, what is the current sentiment? How do I need to respond to this customer and whatnot? This is just an example, right? What I want to do next is show one of the AI services and tell you how it basically works and how easy is it for you to work with AI services within AWS. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Okay, hopefully my screen is visible.
Yep.
I'm back into my console. Again, I'm on my home screen. I'm going to search for comprehend. So launch comprehend. Comprehend has a bunch of capabilities, as you see on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, sorry. It can do real-time analysis. You could build a batch job and do batch analysis. You can create your own customized models based on your data. So there are a bunch of customizations also provided. Basically, you can retrain the model with your data without any machine learning capability requirements, right? So that's what customization is all about. For the purpose of this discussion, we are going to restrict it to real-time analysis. So there is already a text here, right? So this is the input text here, right? So there is a bunch of information in here. Starts with, hey, Zhang, I'm John. I have some company names. I have some credit card numbers, dates, a whole lot of information provided in this text, right? So when I want to analyze this text using comprehend, I just click on analyze. Each of these tabs has a specific set of capabilities that comprehend provides. The first tab talks about entities. Comprehend goes and looks at the entire text and figures out what are the key entities within this text. And it also identifies what type of entities it is and what is the confidence level on the entity. So this is, Zhang is a person, John is a person, there is organization name, when there is quantity or cost and everything, it puts a number, date. As you can see, it can actually provide you with what type of entity it is. It also identifies what are the key phrases in here, right? Your company's services, credit card account. There are some key phrases it has identified. PII, this is extremely key because when you are working with your Amazon Connect, when you're working with your contact center and your customers, you are obviously looking for the customer is providing with a bunch of personally identifiable information. And when you want to store this information back into your contact center, you want to make sure that you mask this information and make it clear out of any kind of PII related concerns. So you could basically use comprehend to identify the PII related information and provide some sort of a masking before you store this information back into AWS S3. Right. So here it is identified there is a credit card or a debit card number. And there is a confidence provided in here. Again, sentiment. Right. Sentiment is another key thing. So based on this particular text that we provided, the sentiment here is basically neutral. Right. So that's what comprehend is identified. So when the customer is calling you and there is a bad and the customer is really upset with the service and everything, then you can identify the customer's sentiment on your particular product and whatnot, and you can adjust and customize the way that you handle this customer. Right. So this is one way how you can basically take an AI service, integrate it with your Amazon Connect, and build a very customized response back to the customer when you're dealing with contact center issues. I'll stop here. Back to you, Mo. Happy to answer questions on the chat as it comes through.
Yeah, and Mina, it looks like we did get 2 questions via chat.
I will look into it. Yeah, I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to respond to the questions.
Cool.
Do you want us to start addressing questions now, or shall we wait until Q&A?
No, I will respond it in the chat window while Mo can continue with his stuff.
I think it's good if we answer them live, so it will be more clear for everyone, if you don't mind. So the first question was from Adrian. He's asking whether Amazon Connect is free.
So I think there is a 12-month free thing. There is after that it is again pay as you go, right? So you are not really charged for anything unless you start using it. So it's pay as you go. There is no infrastructure behind the scenes. I can get back to you on exactly how long it's actually free for. I think there is a defined time window for which AWS provides it for free. I can get back to you with the information. I'll look it up right away and get back to you with that information.
Yeah, or if it is on a link, perhaps just the link in the chat if the information
Absolutely,
is
we'll do
somewhere.
that.
The other question is from Jamie. He is asking whether it connects to the AWS extract model.
100%. I did not show you the Lambda integration. Since Amazon Connect is connected to Lambda, you can, I mean, I don't know if you have seen Lambda. I can send a couple of documents around Lambda. Through Lambda, you can connect to any kind of AI services. So essentially, through using the Lambda integration within Amazon Connect, you could basically call at extract, synchronous call or asynchronous call, and do whatever is required for you to digitize a particular document that comes your way. Yes.
Okay, and then Adrian is asking again about the pricing. He's asking the same for Amazon Comprehend. He would like to know the same. So if this information regarding cost is anywhere available on a link, just please, if you could share the link.
So again, at a very high level, Amazon Comprehend is very similar to any of our other AWS services. It is platform as a service. You do not pay for if you do not pay if you're not using it. So for example, when I did click on analyze, I only get charged for that particular amount of seconds that I basically ran my comprehend analysis for. So as and when you call the service and whatever time that the service takes to decipher the information, that is the cost that you basically pay for Amazon Comprehend. Again, as you mentioned, I will get the link and provide the pricing information as well here.
Thank you very much, Mina. Okay, sorry Mo for interrupting you.
No problem at all. Great questions, and appreciate the engagement. So I'm going to pull up the slide deck again. I think we have a quiz coming up. So yeah, if Chris, if you want to start the Menti.
Yeah, wait a bit. So we'll start right away. Just okay, so it's quiz time, everyone. As usual, I will place in chat the link. You can go to www.menti.com, and there you will enter this code and join the quiz room if you want to participate and win the UiPath prize. So it's 13055395, the code to join the quiz room. www.menti.com. We'll be waiting here to see how many of you join the quiz room, and then we will start the quiz. So go to chat, get the link and the code, and join the quiz room. It's very easy. You can do it from your cell phone, you can do it from your laptop, or anyone can join the quiz room. Just click the link and enter the code. And you'll be here with wolves and frogs and ghosts. Yes, I'm sorry, unicorns. Santa Claus, because Christmas is coming. Course. So we have 9 so far, but we have over 20 people in the session. I hope this number will grow up, and I strongly encourage you to do the quiz.
All right, we got a koala bear.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very diverse. But I think it's the first time we have a ghost and an alien in the same quiz room.
There we go.
Yeah, and the engagement ring. That's weird. And the detective, of course. Okay, so we are up to 13 now. Anyone else wants to join? Okay, I think that's it. So we will start the quiz now. Guys, please pay attention when the question appears on screen, and then during the answer, the thing with Menti is that you have to answer fast to gain more points. So it's important not only to answer correct, but also fast. If you know the correct answer, just trust your instinct. So, key Amazon Contact Center tools include Amazon Connect, Comprehend, and Transcribe, Amazon Contact, Amazon Alexa. Okay, looks like time is up. Okay, most of you got it right. So it's Amazon Connect, Comprehend, and Transcribe. We'll go to the next question now. Pay attention. Well, this is the intermediate leaderboard, actually. Let's see who is leading after the first question. It seems like Rashid. Okay.
Wow, that was really close, though.
He was the fastest, and I think he's almost a tie with Adrian. Yes. Yes, very close. Okay, this can change at any time. So it changes usually from question to question. Just keep on going. UiPath offers the following Amazon integrations. Activities for Comprehend only, none, use UI automation. Activities for Connect and Comprehend. Okay, you should have about 15 seconds left for this one. So if you've been paying attention, and okay, everybody got it right. That's great.
Good job, guys. Yeah, that's great.
That's it. Then we'll stop sharing now.
Oh, Chris, can we see the results from the last one?
Wait a bit. Wait a bit.
If not, we can just pull it up next time. Just curious.
We can see the results, but just let me. I will just quickly share it now. But I don't want it to jump to the next question. Okay, it's same, Rashid, and of course now we have the second and third position switched.
Cool.
Okay.
It's really close.
So just remember, anything can change till the next quiz session. We have 2 more questions coming up before Q&A.
All right, great. So I think the most fun part is I'm going to do a little bit of a walkthrough. I think Mina covered most of the setup, so I'll gloss over a lot of this quickly, but I really want to show on the UiPath side how we can integrate into a lot of what he showed with Connect. So for the purposes of today, I'm going to use a very simple contact flow template that I downloaded, just a GitHub project, and I'm going to pull up our API connector guide, which we'll use as part of it just to get a couple of properties. But really at a high level, what we're going to do is, and I'll switch back and forth on these, but we want to get our orchestrator API details to pull into the AWS stack that we set up. We want to set up the stack based on a template that I have, so the one up here. We want to set up our Lambda functions to point to the UiPath calls that we're going to use. I think I'm just going to use a start job today. We're going to use a contact flow that I set up, but we're also time willing going to pull up a Lex chatbot that accomplishes the same thing as the IVR. We're going to identify those reference properties for my UiPath job, which is where we're going to use that Postman API reference. And then the main thing is we're going to try it out. So I'm actually going to try my contact flows. So let me switch over to a couple of different screens here. So within my orchestrator, I've got a couple of API access properties. So within external applications, I've got my my Postman one. I've got one for testing, and then within my orchestrator tenant, I've also got API access. So sorry, one sec. Oh, here we go. Yep, sorry. So I do have my API key for orchestrator as well, with my tenant name, my logical name, my client ID, and a user key that I'm going to use. So if I go directly into Amazon, the AWS Management Console, I wanted to quickly show the CloudFormation stack that I set up that incorporates those properties we just showed. So if I go to the one that I set up, and you can see a couple of mine got auto deleted yesterday, so I did recreate this very quickly. The parameters that I put in from orchestrator are going to be that logical name, my client ID, user key, the orchestrator authorization URL, the logical name for the tenant, the orchestrator URL, and my S3 bucket name. So if we take the we take a lot of what Mina set up in his part of the demo. We add a couple of details via this stack. What I can do is I can actually go to Amazon Connect. And for the workspace that I've set up, I've got a workflow with a contact flow that actually incorporates UiPath, and I'll pull that up in one sec. So if I look at my Amazon Connect configuration here, under contact flows, I've got a couple of Lex chatbots enabled. And the really important thing is from that stack that I set up, I've got a couple of Lambda functions that incorporate UiPath. So I've got my UiPath query job and my UiPath start job. I'll talk through those in just one sec. So if I go to my Connect workspace, I've got a really simple version of the contact flow that Mina just showed. So I've got one for very simple IVR integration. And so what I've got here, if you remember, Mina showed a couple of different AWS Lambda functions. So I've actually got a function, you can see the properties on the right, where I'm going to use a UiPath start job. And the key parameters are, I need to know my release key and my folder ID. So if I go to Orchestrator, yeah, there's a couple of different ways to get the folder ID, but a really simple one is if I go to Orchestrator and if I go to my folder, you'll actually see the parameter within the URL. So where it says FID equals, that's actually my folder ID there. It's a really simple way to get it. And within my Postman call, if I go to releases within my tenant and my cloud.uipath.com orchestrator instance, I've got all of my different processes here. And so this is one way that I can get the release key. So if I go to one of my processes, and if I go process by process and search for release key, I can get my release key here. There's a couple of different ways, a couple of different calls that I can make to get that. And then within this, once I've put in the folder ID and the release key, the code here, what should happen is as part of this contact flow, I can actually start a UiPath job with that release key. Then I can have a play prompt. It can tell me to please wait a moment. I can have a couple of confirmations, a couple of loops, and then if it succeeds, I'll have a specific condition, and then if it fails, I'll have a message like, I'm sorry, something went wrong. And very simple flow that I set up very quickly yesterday, but I'd love to actually pull it up. And what should happen is it should call or start one of my automations. So it should start an automation that actually generates a ServiceNow incident. So I should see that here. And then a couple of additional things that we'll walk through in one sec. But if I go to my Google Voice and I'm sharing audio, let me try to actually call it and do it live. And what could go wrong? Let's see if this works. And let me go back to my presentation real quick. And just to summarize, what I'm going to do here is we set up our AWS environment and prerequisites. We added the Lambda function. We walked through the contact flow, and now we're going to make the call live. And then after that, we'll check for the incident in ServiceNow. So let me go ahead and actually make the call. And it's just one of the out-of-the-box available contact flows for booking a car. So I'm just going to try to rent a car, and then it should set up a ServiceNow incident based on that being successful. So let's call it live.
How can we help you today?
I'd like to book a car.
In what city do you need to rent a car?
Washington, D.C.
What day do you want to start your rental?
Tomorrow.
What day do you want to return the car?
Next Tuesday.
What day do you want to return the car?
Next Wednesday.
How old is the driver for this rental?
28.
What type of car would you like to rent?
Luxury.
Our most Okay, I have you down for a luxury rental in Washington, D.C. from November 19th, 2021 to November 24th, 2021. Should I book the reservation?
Yes.
Booking your car. Please wait a moment. Your reservation has been made by a UiPath robot. Have a nice day. What an exciting demo this was.
All right, everyone could hear that, right? Because I think it worked. So the next thing we'll do is we'll check in service now, and what I'm hoping is I'll see an incident. And great, so we got our incident. I've got just a canned description with my name, that there was a new travel request, there was a car booked by conversational IR, those are our IVR, those are all variables that I could fill in as part of the workflow. I just sort of I hard coded most of it, but a cool thing is, I don't know how many people were on the integration service webinar or community event that we did a couple of weeks ago, but if I look at my unattended robot, I can actually use things like integration service triggers to continue to expand my workflow as part of that. So if I have a new incident, that should actually trigger a second workflow in just a minute, where I can enter some more details. So it's a really good example, I think, really simple example, but I can take multiple UiPath actions, I can string them together, and I can incorporate the Amazon flow and sort of have multiple different UiPath actions. I can pull data from UiPath, I can pull data from Amazon, incorporate it into my workflow, and vice versa, all within the simple interface builder here, where I can pull in as many workflows as I'd like based on more complex logic than just simply one of the branches I have here, which is just what I'm trying to do with the whether it's booking a car, booking a hotel, or different types of incidents that might come in, if that makes sense. And let me check my workflow again real quick. And we'll give it a minute, but what's actually going to be happening in the background is, based on the job that I started, I'm actually going to have additional jobs being kicked off by that. So just, an example of how one workflow can kick off multiple subsequent processes. So while we're waiting there, let me pull up the deck again. And were there any questions on how to incorporate UiPath? Because I went through that pretty quickly. I could always provide a little bit more detail on that.
There are no questions now currently. So I think we can move on. There were only praises in the chat, not questions.
Great.
Yeah, everybody loved the demo.
Oh, awesome. Now I'm just I'm glad it worked live. And again, it's very, very simple. If possible, I'll show this last bit of it. But yeah, I mean, I think if you think about what Mina showed, and then what we have here very quickly, I can invoke a UiPath robot. I can have it do some type of integration activity in the background. I can have it, query the data back in. But the really cool part is I can add sentiment analysis via AWS AI. I can incorporate all of those via additional functions here, put all those together, and I can have robots working in the background, robots working on behalf of the agent, or if it gets escalated, anything like that, and then have all of that data flowing bidirectionally between both systems. So I think just a lot of great opportunities, and this is really just sort of scratching the surface of what we can do. And if my second process hasn't begun yet, I'll go ahead and just switch back to the deck. And let's see what else we have. Give me one sec. So I think we actually, let me pull up UiPath Studio real quick, and I'll show a couple more things very briefly. And then, yeah, I think we have one more quiz. So, we showed a lot from the Amazon side. I'm going to show a couple things from the UiPath side really quickly. So if I go to my packages within UiPath Studio, if I look up Amazon or Connect, I've got my Amazon Connect activities, and I'll go ahead and install those. And I should already have my comprehend activities, but I'll just double check after this. So I've got it zoomed out quite a bit, but if I look up comprehend as well, So I do have those installed. I can drag and drop if I just search for my activities, and I apologize about the Zoom. I changed it right before the session. But if I look up Connect, so as part of my I got something going on with Studio, so I may have to X out in just a second. But sorry about that. Let me just reopen Studio real quick, and then if I'm still having issues, we can just run right into the quiz. But you know, we showed a lot from the Amazon side. On the Connect side, if I want to have an outbound call, I can set that up via Studio. And on the Comprehend side, same thing. I can pull in outputs from Comprehend directly into Studio. So let me kick off a new project real quick. And if I search for Connect, for the sake of time, I'll just drag one in and show what it looks like. I can set up my Amazon Connect scope. So within that, I just need to know my my authentication credentials, so my key ID and my secret, and the region and instance ID. And then within that, I could actually make an outbound voice call. So as part of my workflow, what I originally had set up was, you know, if I take my Connect flow, I could have it say at the end, you know, I'm sorry, something went wrong. We'll give you a call. And that could actually, so when it says we can call you back automatically to try to resolve this, we can pass, you know, some output variables or arguments to UiPath to have a robot make that outbound call. It's just a simple example of, you know, how you can string those together. And because we set up a ServiceNow incident, I did, assuming it worked, want to show one more thing really quickly. So because we set up a ServiceNow incident, to extend my workflow a bit, I could actually have an unattended robot triggered by that second piece, and I can continue my workflow where an agent, you know, on taking a look at, you know, the inbound incident or anything like that, could put in a comment. So I could add something like, you booked a luxury car, anything like that. And then based on all of those inputs being passed around via workflows, I can have different robots doing different parts of it. So based on that, I can go back to ServiceNow and I should have an update to my incident. So, you know, just a quick example of how you can trigger something from chat, from IVR. It could be escalated if needed. You know, again, I used a very simple example, and then that input should be able to be captured within the system that I'm using. So if I go to this incident, I've got my input there. So all of that started with chat. That could be an example of escalation. And then I know Mina showed the chatbot really, really quickly, but with, you know, just a couple of minutes that we have left, I did want to go into Lex and just show that, you know, for that contact flow that we set up, that we ran through via IVR, I could also take a look at my Lex chatbot, and I've actually got a chatbot that does that same flow that we just ran through. So it's got a couple of sample utterances like, I'd like to reserve a car, book a car, make a car reservation. I can add more examples. I've got all my different slots, so that's where you heard pickup city, pickup date, return date, driver age, car type. And then my fulfillment could be, you know, just like I set up in the contact flow, I can have different fulfillment options here. I can follow that same flow. And then my chatbot, you know, just thinking about omnichannel with a couple of different ways to trigger the same thing, I can have my chatbot here. You know, I can publish this to multiple channels. This is just my test item, but I can run the exact same flow here. do the same thing that I did there, and via chat, I can trigger the same UiPath robot, perform the same queries, and do the same workflow that I did via IVR. So just a really powerful way to incorporate multiple inbound channels, especially for self-service. So with that, I think we've got our quiz coming up. So let me check on the slides. Were there any additional questions before we jump into that?
Yeah, I think we have something.
Cool. Let's take a look.
Okay, people are asking us about the recording. As usually, I'm going to tell you tomorrow you will have the recording and the presentation available on the event link, which is the registration link where you registered RSVP to the event in the first place. You will also receive an email telling you that the event is wrapped up, and you can go on that link to find the recording and the presentation for this event. Alpan is asking, would it work if I said rent a car is not in sample utterances?
So Mina, you might have a better answer for that.
Absolutely. So yeah, so the way Lex works is based on, I mean, Lex is kind of the engine behind Alexa. So when you give sample utterances, it doesn't really have to match the exact sample utterances. Yeah, but the more the number of sample utterances we provide, there is a machine learning model that runs behind the scenes within Lex to kind of decipher what kind of utterances come and what do I decipher out of it, right? So with a minimal number of utterances, there might be a possibility that it might not get into every potential scenario, like, rent a car or whatever. But as you increase the number of utterances, the better your machine learning model that runs behind the scenes. I know this is a very, very roundabout answer, and it's not a straight answer, but that's how the machine learning models are, right? Unfortunately.
Okay. Yes, he's apparently saying he understood, and he thanks you for the answer. Shall we move on to the quiz now?
Yeah, thanks everybody for your patience, and yeah, let's jump into the second quiz and let's see who wins.
And then we'll go back to Q&A, general Q&A. Okay, so this is where we left off. So this is our last leaderboard with Rashid as the leader. And now we're moving on to the next two questions. So remember, answer fast. Amazon's chatbot is called Matt, Lex, or Polly? Okay, most of you got it right. So let's see the leaderboard after this third question. Okay, so we have a switch. I don't know whether Rashid left the session or what happened. So our fastest and most correct answer is Hare Krishna, and this is the leader now. We have one more question, so this is the last chance to reverse and influence this leaderboard. But as you can see, many changes happen.
It's still really close.
Yeah, so this is the last question, fourth question on our quiz today. Useful AI capabilities for contact center use cases include machine learning to understand your computer, speech-to-text, sentiment analysis, chat. AI is not useful. Okay, I remembered when you said the answer to this one in the beginning. Okay, so perhaps this was a bit tricky, but it was clearly stated within Mo's presentation. It's correct, yes, speech-to-text, sentiment analysis, and chat is the correct answer. Let's see the final leaderboard now and designate our winner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay, so Hare Krishna, congratulations. You are a winner for today. Please send me your email address in a direct message in the Zoom chat, and I will send you the winner voucher for UiPath swag. So DM me your email address on the Zoom chat, please. And thank you all for participating in our quiz. It was great to have you and have a bit of fun out of this presentation too. Now I will switch it back to Mo.
All right, great. And so we've got a couple of very brief use cases that I'll send out, but I really wanted to make sure that everybody does see our links and documentation. So we've got great documentation on our comprehend activities, our connect activities. There was a question about text tracks. I also put the text track activities on here. And also our general AWS activities. So really good stuff around infrastructure management, IT automation, and all of that. And I believe Mina added a couple of additional links. So what I'll do is I'll put them on the deck so that when you see the shared version tomorrow, it'll include all of those as well. So yeah, did we want to take a couple of minutes, Chris, for Q&A?
Yes, of course. So we'll open now the live Q&A. Anyone who would like to ask a question on today's session, either to Mo or to Mina, please, I will check now whether, so you should all be able to unmute now. And please let me know in chat if anyone is not able to unmute. Please feel free to ask your questions live on today's session if there are any remaining questions to be asked. Does anyone want to ask any questions? Doesn't seem like we have much courage or many questions from the public today, but guys, please feel free and comfortable to ask any question regarding the session today. Or if you feel like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, let's give everybody another quick minute. And what I'll do is I'll add my LinkedIn in the chat. If anybody ever wants to reach out, has any questions, please feel free anytime. Just give me 1 sec. All right, and just sent that out. And then, so yeah, with that, Chris, I can pull up our last slides about upcoming community events.
I think we have Jose who wants to ask a question.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Hello, Jose.
I just have one question. Where can we find the recording of this class?
The recording will be available on the event link, link on which you registered, and you're also going to receive an email. So the email you will receive after the event is wrapped up will contain the link to the recording. Yeah, I will give you now. Let me actually give you the link so you know where exactly you will find the recording tomorrow. But basically, it's just the simple event link from which you registered. So, but I will give you guys the link now. Okay, and here you have it now in Zoom. This is where tomorrow you'll find a recording and a presentation. Guys, stick around a bit because I also have 2 slides and some news to share with you. I will let Mo wrap up first, and if there are any other questions, of course, please tell us. Does anybody else want to ask any other question? Okay, Mo, I think you can continue. And oh, you already shared the outro.
Yeah, because I think that's all I had. So yeah, we just have our couple of slides on the community events.
You need to switch the slides now. I think everyone is familiar with our community ecosystem and what options we have within the community ecosystem. You can proactively check all of our options for all our offerings and possibilities to contribute to UiPath community on our website, which includes, of course, everything that is on this slide, community.uipath.com. There are outgoing links to forum and academy, which are most certainly familiar with, of course, the community cloud, the community automation cloud, and then all the opportunities in which you can contribute to UiPath community, mostly content, whether you want to become part of a UiPath program, write a blog, a tutorial for the UiPath community and such. Mo, if you could go to next slide now, please. This is the most important news we have. The MVP program, which I think most of you should also be familiar with by now, which is one of our core programs in the UiPath community, which designates our top experts and contributors, main advocates for the UiPath products, is now in open applications for the 2022 program, 2022 MVP batch. You can apply. I will give you the link now for the applications, and we strongly encourage most of you to apply, because I think you should have the expertise required. You will find all the criteria and the application button here if you wish to apply, and you will also have the option to nominate and recommend other people for the MVP, for the UiPath MVP program. So just please go on that link, check our MVP program. Applications are only open until December 5th. So this is, you should make a decision. We also have next week on Wednesday, we have an info and coaching session for the UiPath 2022 program applications. You can join that session to find out more, talk to current UiPath MVPs and the advocacy programs manager in UiPath. So I will also give you the link to that session now, whether you want to know more about this open applications and coaching for the MVP 2022 applications program. Okay, and you can join on this link our next Wednesday event here. Okay, these are the next sessions coming up. So here we have the full spectrum of the sessions in Technology Integration Series 3. We are now up to November 18th with AWS, and what follows is 2 more sessions until we close the year with the tech series. Next session is Automate CRM Systems through APIs with the new UiPath integration service. And then on December 16th, finally, we have UiPath integration with SAP Solution Manager 7.2. We also had Oracle, but we dropped that. It was canceled. So if you wish to join and find interesting any of these 2 upcoming sessions, please, you can go. I will give you the link also now in our upcoming EMEA events. And just check here the links, and you can directly register to these sessions here. Okay, I think I gave you most of it. All we have now, yeah, and there is one more thing I would like to tell you, however, so please just bear with me a moment, because we also have one other thing which is important going on in UiPath community. We have a community survey. So I will give you the link, and maybe some of you wish to have time and maybe would like to complete this survey for us. Let me check the link first. Here. Okay. It should be on forum. Sorry, just a minute. Okay, the link is not currently working, so I'll skip that. Thank you all for participating today. I'll come back in the next session with the UiPath community survey. It was a very nice session. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and also our quiz. Thank you all for coming, and tomorrow you will have the recording and the presentation up on the event link, which I shared on chat. If you wish to save the links in chat, just copy paste them now, please, so you don't lose them. Thank you all again.
Yeah, thanks so much, everybody.